Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mark Loeffler Experience. Today we're going to talk about the RBC Housing Affordability Index. Why it is worrisome, grim, impossible to buy, says RBC. Is that going to get worse or is it going to get better? I mean, stick around. I have some ideas. And again, I am just a real estate investor who also happens to sell some real estate in Hamilton, Burlington, Oakville area. So take anything I say with a grain of salt. This is not gospel. This is just me doing my own research so I can keep my clients ahead of the bar. Anybody who chooses to follow and listen and subscribe and smash that like button, we do appreciate you and hopefully you get some value out of this. Anyways, obviously, we had some really ridiculous months. January, February, the prices went ridiculous. We're up 25% to start the year. And what happened? Well, inflation is through the roof. We've known that for months and months and months. Yet, it's taken this long for basically the bond market to catch up. Basically, the bond market has had its biggest one-year spike since like the early 90s. I don't know if you know what happened in the 90s. Was basically the prices spiked. The level came back down and basically all through the 90s, probably bottomed out, it looks like from this chart, around 95, 97. It was pretty middling until about 2001 when it started to boom again. And this is why I look like a genius, is because that's when I finished university and I started buying houses. We're seeing that same interest rate spike that we saw in the early 90s. We're seeing that right now. That means the cost of mortgages are going up. If you told me when I bought my house that I could get a rate of 3%, I would have jumped all over it. My first house, even my second, my third, my fourth house. I mean, I'm only on my third personal residence. Yet, investment properties, I've paid well more than that over time. So I'm not all that worried yet, but it's getting to the point where, like, if we see a couple more spikes, we could be at that, like we could be paying 5% for a mortgage. We haven't seen that for a very, very long time. Since the early 2000s, I mean, where were we paying that, right? As of March 29th, the yield reached 2.47%. It was up 22.8 basis points, so about 10% from the week before. Over the past month, it's climbed 80.2 basis points, which is a 50% increase in 1 month. Obviously, highest rate yield since May 2011. Everybody thought we were never going to see this again. But here we are, and we're going to go higher. Getting higher means one of two things is going to happen. Obviously, we're going to have higher interest rates, which lead to higher mortgage payments. And I've said this time and time again, and if you don't believe me, look it up. People don't care how much they pay for the house. They care how much they can afford per month. Higher mortgage rates, they can pay less. And now we have government interference and they might change some of the rules. So that means that it'll make it harder to get a mortgage. So it has unintended consequences. Less people can buy a home. People still want to live here. What does that mean? Well, those people become renters. We put more people into the rental pool. And by the way, we're still not building enough rental properties. What happens to rental prices? Well, they're going to go up. And by the way, is this a Canadian problem? Let's look at the RBC report. So when they say Canada, they don't mean Canada. They mean East Coast. They mean Ontario. They mean BC. And to be honest with you, a little bit, they mean Montreal. They mean a major city. They don't mean out west. They're not talking, Winnipeg's up a little bit. But really, they're talking those areas, Calgary, Regina, Saskatoon, Edmonton, St. John's, Newfoundland, even Quebec City, they were fine. But again, as we just talked about, bond yields are going up, which raises mortgage rates. You're seeing it. Higher sensitivity to interest rates to add stress. Are we going to see another 50% increase in interest rates, like the bond yield? I mean, that would be massive. I didn't expect that to go in the month. Do I think it's going to happen again? That'd be a much bigger. We'd be up to like 3.75. Who knows? Inflation is bad right now. It's only going to get worse if you're buying gas because as of tomorrow, gas prices are going up because we have this little carbon tax that's going on all the gas. So we will pay more, which will again cause inflation to go up. But again, I digress. That's not why we're here to talk. well, a little bit. Inflation is going to go up. Cost of our borrowing is going to go up. It's just going to happen. It's not going to stay at this rate. We are going to pay more for mortgages. That's just what's going to happen right now. Obviously, bigger cities are more sensitive to rate hikes as per RBC. We do need to be beaten over the head sometimes. I agree. This is them beating us over the head, basically saying, hey, the affordability is what drives prices. You could have a fixed rate mortgage at like 1%, they were advertising at one point. If you have a 1% mortgage, my recommendation is you pay off as much as you can on that mortgage before, but you can refinance your property at a lower amount and then, keep around the same payment. But again, who knows? If you're going to go make 10% on that money somewhere else, then I got to be honest, don't pay extra on the mortgage. Just let it flow and you'll worry about that later because if you're good enough to make 10+% on your money, then that's what you should be doing out there in the market. People think that I'm being a dreamer at 10%. 10% on your money invested in real estate is very easy to do. If you don't know how to do it, hit me up on Insta. Let's have a chat. People are going to change their objective in a rising rate environment. They might go condo instead of single family home, or they're going to go rental. And, inflation is a real thing. I can't wait to see the immigration and provincial in-migration numbers when they do come out, because we lost a lot of people in Ontario to emigration. People left. I think we're losing people to other provinces as well. I mean, immigration is going to help that, but we're losing some very, very smart people that are going to other places because because we are one of the highest tax jurisdictions in the world. And, we were forced, there was lockdowns, there was a lot of different things going on that people just got, what? I'm done. I'm going to move because I can. I think this is going to get worse before it gets better. Do I think we're going to have a 1990s 10-year-long housing decline? Well, it declined for about 5 to 6 years. And then, it kind of was stagnant, and then it started really bumping up again in early 2000s. I mean, I don't think the government wants that. I think there's some unintended consequences of what they're doing. I think a lot of the bond yields is because they've stopped their quantitative easing, which is buying bonds. How do we have 1% bonds in an 8% inflationary environment? So you guys, I love this stuff. I could talk about this for hours. You guys don't want to listen to it for hours. We'll put links to everything I just talked about. You guys can go do your own research. Comment down below. The inflation is going to hurt, guys. And it's a tough time right now. We should be in cash, because when they raised rates, it hurts a lot of different companies. When rates raise, housing prices are going to go down. I think the only thing that's going to go up here is gas prices. I'm going to leave that with you guys. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you guys next week. Like and subscribe. Talk to you next time.